Hey there, Mikhail here with the MasterKit team, and in this video, we are going to be breaking down the best ways for you to reprogram your subconscious mind. Let's dig in. When you are going about reprogramming your subconscious, everybody has their own approach, their own methodology, and their own way of going about improving those deep-rooted patterns and beliefs that you have. Let's break down a couple of the most common ones and look at the pros and cons. Number one is hypnosis. When most people hear hypnosis, they think, whoa, that's way too out there, I don't want to touch it. But the truth of the matter is, a lot of people will go about trying to break those belief patterns and rewiring their subconscious, and they'll run into roadblocks on the way. And so what will happen is, they'll turn to hypnosis as a quick pill fix to try and not do the work. But there's a couple of caveats there that you might not think through. The first is that for hypnosis to be effective, you have to have a deep and profound level of trust with the particular hypnotist in question. So if you're essentially taking the keys to your subconscious and handing it over to somebody else, which means you have to trust that they've done the work on themselves first, and that they've also are competent and capable of doing the work on you as well in that particular point in time. And that has a lot of vulnerabilities that open up. Top of that, hypnosis usually takes quite a bit of time and also quite a bit of money. The second method that a lot of people use is affirmation. Now, affirmation is one of those things that has a bit of a placebo effect to it, where you think it's working, but is that really what's working? And that's this idea of repeating a thought over and over and over to yourself until something happens. And the question then becomes, well, was it the affirmation that did the work, or was it something else? Okay, and that's extremely difficult to interpret. And on top of that, affirmation is not a process that is clinically proven anywhere. So, you can try it, but it's kind of like one of those things where you're kind of hoping that it works. It's not necessarily proven to work. On top of that, it can take a long time for those patterns to break down. Let's talk about the third method, and this is probably the most common method or the most widely practiced method that we see. And that's therapy, right? You see this all the time. Individuals go into therapy, couples go into therapy. It's considered standard practice. And it is standard practice because, well, given the proper environment, the proper set of circumstances, it does work. If you're able to find a therapist that you trust, that has your best interests in mind, you have the time to dedicate to therapy, and you have the financial means to dedicate to therapy, is definitely something that we do recommend. Keep in mind, you're gonna be looking at a couple things. Number one, obviously you're gonna be looking at a longer time horizon to make some of those changes and some of those reprogrammings that you're looking at. With that time, obviously comes additional expenditures that you can probably visualize. And perhaps most importantly, is the runway in order to see actual change is a lot longer. So what that means is you have a kind of an uptick period at the beginning where you are simply establishing trust, you are establishing different reference points, you are, if you will, setting the stage for the change to happen instead of immediately getting to the change right then and there. Now, let's look at another method that some of you might not realize is actually there. That's life, right? Life will tend to push you over the edge. Life will tend to give you what you need, not always what you want. And those effects, those mechanisms, those happenings around you, those circumstances that you're put in will often test you and will force a reprogramming of your subconscious through brute force, if you will. And that is really the biggest downside, is you are sometimes doing it in a curated environment that is safe, but most often what you'll find is the biggest changes are in environments and in circumstances that are often almost destructive to you. So it requires a very tedious and often painful process to actually make that change happen. And that's really what lies at the foundation of MasterKit, is making it effortless, is making it seamless, is making it fast. If you think about gravity, gravity is a construct that exists. We, in fact, right now, you right now watching this video, are on this planet because of gravity, whether or not you're aware of it. Just like gravity, the powerful thing about MasterKit is that it's proven to work. Like if you drop an apple or you let go of an apple, it's gonna go downwards towards the center of the earth. The same thing with MasterKit is if you allow the system to have an effect on your subconscious, the only effect it is going to have is going to be an improvement of your subconscious state. And that's extremely powerful. Just like a river flows down the hill into the ocean, your limiting beliefs will fade away and you will find new positive patterns start to emerge. And that will have a profound and immediate impact on your life. So to recap, let's look at what we covered in this video. First off, we talked about hypnosis, which is great in theory, but then you have to realize you have to really trust the hypnotist. And on top of that, you have to dedicate a lot of time and a lot of trust and a lot of effort in order to make that work. You have your affirmations, which are great, except you're entirely at the mercy of your own subconscious and of your own actual habits and routines to make sure that you do them. And then on top of that, even if you do them, it's not actually proven whether or not they work. You have therapy, which is quite excellent, but you have a long time horizon. You have to find a trusted, verified therapist that actually has your best interests in mind. And well, it's got a cost associated with it, a recurring cost associated with it. We have life, which, let's face it, is gonna hit you one way or another, whether you want it to or not. And last but not least, we have MasterKit, which is the only proven and clinically field-tested system to work when it comes to reprogramming your subconscious mind. If you liked this video, make sure to hit that like button for the big thumbs up. And if you want to see more videos like this in your inbox, make sure to subscribe to the channel so that we can deliver those to you. And last but not least, if you've tried other methodologies, go ahead and comment down below this video. What have you tried? What's worked for you in the past? And if you've tried MasterKit and it's worked for you, let us know your experience.